Philadelphia. Hello, everybody. You will see, if you're watching on YouTube, that he is live in Chucktown enjoying some festivities, which we'll talk about. It is myself, John Barcher, Taylor Credatus back here at Sandbox Studios here in Media PA. Vince, what's the weather like down there in Chucktown? You doing push-ups or, trying out for the Olympic team? What's going on?
Doing push-ups or trying out for the Olympic team? What? I don't know. It's nice weather. The weather's fine, and it's funny too because I am here in Charleston, and if you look around in Charleston, there's pineapples everywhere, and you happen to be wearing a pineapple shirt.
I wore it in honor of you. That's exactly right. So I've heard some things of what the pineapples do and don't mean, but I don't want to. That's
a story for another day. Yeah, we'll get to that another day. That's a really funny story, though.
Yeah, man. Thank you for hanging out. We apologize. We didn't throw out a Tuesday show. There's just a lot going on, man. Philly Sports Trips knows how to party. I think you wiped us out. I think
that's the truth.
Only so much candle to burn, and it burned. And we're just going to give you 2 back-to-back episodes because there's a lot to cover, including after you're done listening to this, go immediately listen to our Dan Snyder episode. We haven't recorded it yet. Oh, my God, we were right. Oh, my God. So there's some spicy things to get into there. But we're going to start out pretty spicy here, Vince Quinn, because, this team is 5-0. It's Dallas Cowboys week, which means ESPN has to find an interesting way to make Cooper Rush seem better than he is. Our old friend Skip Bayless, I think, has done a wonderful job of that this week already. Listen, I think you and I agree that the Dallas Cowboys defensive line is no joke. The shit. It's awesome. Hate to say it. It's great. Micah Parsons thought would have a sophomore slump. No, he's got more of a generational rocket ship. And it's just like, oh my fucking God. Okay. All right. We got to take all this seriously. Linebacker they invested in the first round is actually like a generational player and, all that. So, and we're going to get into that too. But man, there's just been, let me just say, Seth Joyner really poopy pants ruined the mood this week. It's just, man, having to discuss all that was really nauseating, and not understanding what a quote means was really funny too. But besides all that, I think we have, as a fan base, completely focused on the wrong thing this weekend, from this weekend. And I don't know if this is, where are we floating here? Because, we're talking about a 5-0 football team that to me has a major offensive problem. Either Jalen Hurts is not able to check out of blitzes, or Shane Steichen doesn't have them installed in his offense. And either way you look at it, that's not good.
No.
That I think, when I'm thinking of Micah Parsons, when I'm thinking of Jordan Mailata, more than likely going to be back this week, and we'll obviously keep eyes and ears on everything over the last couple of days. But Jalen's going to have a hard time initially, I believe. That's just that would be disrespectful to just completely dismiss Micah Parsons and all that. So that concerns me more or less. I'm not getting scared of the Cowboys. This always happens. People are like, oh, here we go. I think they win this game. I just think it's going to be a mighty struggle. All these things are. Jalen owes them one. This team has embarrassed them left and right in a lot of different places. It ends up never mattering because they never make it to the playoffs, or
they lose in the wild card round to San Francisco because they suck. They suck. But
they suck.
Yeah, but getting to the point that, here's the thing that I've been thinking about, because with all this stuff with the blitz and the hot reads and the game planning around that and whatever, there's a billion questions around it. I mean, the biggest thing that I'm thinking of as I'm looking around the league is Jalen Hurts has clearly gotten better, but how much has he truly developed, right? All the early season, all the touchdowns. And look, I'm not bashing him for rushing touchdowns. I know that's a trendy, dumb thing going on this week. I'm not doing that. He's an effective runner. It's an important part of his game. It's an important part of playing quarterback in the modern NFL. So I'm not attacking him for that. But for all the steps that you want to see him make in terms of reading defenses, anticipating throws, all that kind of stuff, because the talent's gotten better, the coaching's gotten better. And so how much of it is truly Jalen Hurts taking a massive leap? I don't know for sure yet. I have a hard time saying that Jalen Hurts is truly a great quarterback. And for example, let me give you a piece of this. We talked about Trevor Lawrence a couple of weeks ago going into that game, right? And one of the biggest things that I've noticed about Trevor Lawrence, which we did not see in an absolute downpour where he fumbled the ball away 5 times, but when you watch other games that he plays, he throws guys open consistently. I mean, his ability to just go like, you're in tight coverage, doesn't matter, bam, he does that all the time. Jalen Hurts has had a throw or two where he's thrown it in a tight window like that, but he's not consistently throwing guys open on that level of tier. We're talking about all the blitz read stuff and the decisions that are being made. Some of it's the offense, some of it's him not making the right read. So it's just, where is he? You know, because a lot of this is also, what is he worth, right? That's what we talked about 2 weeks ago. What is he worth? So, I mean, how much of a leap do you think he's taken?
I mean, huge leap. What are you talking about?
Huge?
You sat in this seat that I'm sitting in and agreed with me that, like, the price starts at 3 first-rounders, if that's what we're talking about in terms of value and all that.
Yeah.
Like, how much a leap has he taken? Like, a monstrous leap in terms of understanding him, the offense, trusting everybody. I think his coaches too much, and that's, if I'm leaning one way, like, that's my take of this right now. I mean, like, if you're looking for Trevor Lawrence pinpoint accuracy, it's not going to come this season. You're going to keep waiting for a while, like, you know.
Okay, well, that's
I still
important.
think that's another. Yeah, but we went. Well, now, like, what you're moving a whole leap forward here. Like, if you're talking about the physicality or like the I don't know, the quickness in which he's throwing that pinpoint accuracy opening or making that decision to go there, like, yeah, I still think he's struggling there a little bit. Like, it gets better, regresses. It's, you know, doing this, but I don't think it's anything to go like, well, that's actually what's holding the offense back. It's that. You know, if you had Trevor Lawrence behind here in this line, this team would be, what, more than undefeated? Like, what?
Well,
what
no, and I'm
know.
not trying to bury the guy, but part of it is perspective on all this, right? Because think about it. I mean, early conversation is Jalen Hurts MVP, Jalen Hurts MVP, Jalen Hurts MVP, which I get.
Still
I mean,
there,
it's also.
aren't we?
Well, I mean, are we? Like, look, for it's early in the season. The team is great. He's played well. He's made some really strong throws. Like, he had a throw last week where he's running across the field. He's running to his left, across his body. He makes a nice throw down the sideline. That's a big-time throw. So you give him credit for that. But, like, is he one of the top quarterback talents in the league is just one of those questions that you talk about. And for me, when you're thinking about where the development of all of this is, I just think it's important to understand that he's not there yet. It's not that I'm trying to take the guy down a peg. I think you pay him. I think he has taken a step. He deserves credit for that. But I just can't, like, this is a reminder to slow down a little bit in terms of, like, Jalen Hurts is the one. You know what I mean?
I guess, man, this is I feel like Mr. Scaredy Pants McGee over here, T, is worried about the Dallas Cowboys.
No, I just, like, for me, because part of it is I was getting carried away. Like, I'm seeing all this stuff with Jalen, and for us, it's been weird because, like, I'm not used to going to games all that much. You know, I'd gone years without going to a game, so we're going to all these games now. We're watching everything. We're in the crowd. You get dramatic wins. Like, I'm so fired up about all of it. And Jalen has made progress. The offense has made progress. So I'm just assuming, like, yeah, everything's in the best possible scenario. But it's like, okay, I gotta slow down my Jalen Hurts opinions a little bit. And it's just he's not fully there yet, which is okay, because even if you liked him, you knew it's a process. I think we're seeing process here, and it's a good thing to go through right now is really where I'm at, because think about this. You go through the Dallas game, and if they can get through this with Dallas's line, which destroys games, because it's not even like you see a good defensive line and what they'll do is, okay, good defensive lineman, like they might find their guy, shed the blocker, make the tackle at the line of scrimmage. It's a good play. There's no gain. Like, that's a solid play. The number of times the Dallas defensive lineman is just like bullet train straight down the middle and knocks the crap out of the quarterback or the running back. It's constant. I mean, they're doing it so much. It is glaring game-wrecking plays. They're doing it all the time.
Yep.
So if
that's
you
what's
can
winning them football games right now. Yep.
No doubt about it. They dominated the Rams, man. I mean, that game was embarrassing for them.
Yeah.
Like, they got to go completely to the drawing board, which is why I think it's a great test for the Eagles to see how this develops. So, okay, coaching staff, Jalen, everybody. How can they figure this out? What are the solutions to deal with blitz and heavy pressure? Can they figure that out and overcome it this week? And even if they still continue to struggle, you do have the bye week to go and figure it out. So it's nice to have a couple of weeks to get all this together, and you really the rest of the season. Because you're looking like, this is what we're nitpicking about 5 weeks in. What a beautiful thing to nitpick. You can't even yell about special teams this week. Like, Aaron Sidloss was good last week.
And another player of the week, by the way, 5-0 on wins and losses, 5-0 with players of the week. So just a fantastic month for the Philadelphia Eagles there, which is, to your point, I mean, yes, I don't see, you say this is nitpicking. I don't think this is nitpicking. I think this is a major issue. I think this is whether you are a Super Bowl team or not. And here's why. Because the Cardinals, much like I think the Cowboys are going to do, because I think they pretty much did this last year too, like they're setting up the same way as Tampa did in that playoff game. I mean, how many times did you see Arizona in like a weird, funky 7-8-man box that's either pulling linebackers out, pulling safeties in, blitzing, all out 8, like all over the place, right? It's to try and that's nothing normal that a veteran quarterback doesn't deal with from time to time. So my biggest issue is in those moments, nothing changes. Nothing. Like that is detrimental to this offense. And I think it's what slows it down. The NFL knows this, and I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Nick Sirianni looked awfully fucking tired on Sunday. Really tired. Like burnt the fuck out tired. Either he was partying all night, which I don't think he was.
Downtown Scottsdale.
I mean,
hard to beat.
That's right.
It'll suck you in. I'll let you know. So much so I got to take a sip of this liquid death. Good Lord. But very tired and either stressed out or that tells me, just total theory. There's a lot of fighting going on in that coaching room, man. A lot of fighting. Absolutely. I think there is. I think there are. I think between what Jalen is right now, and you're pointing out some things that, like, sure, I think it is fair to question. I clearly don't agree with Vince Quinn on that, but I feel as though there is this internal struggle. Like, why the fuck are you throwing screens all the time? Why? Why is that the only thing in your bag against the blitz? And people recognize that pretty quickly now, and especially when you're only. And that's what it is. We heard all of, before the Arizona game, it was all about, oh, I trust my quarterback and he trusts me. And like, so why are you only giving him 2-man routes on blitz pack? Why are you only giving him 2 options? And why is there not one hot read when you see the blitz coming or when Jalen thinks it's coming? Either way. And that's still an answer I don't have. But it looks to me like there is some fighting going on in the coaching staff because, like, last week leans more on the coaching staff to me than, like, where is Jalen Hurts at progressively in his, time with the Eagles so far. I think the coaching staff to me has hit a brick wall, Vince Quinn. That's my take. They are not evolving. They are stuck, and it's, again, like the red. Do you know what's been the best play in the red zone, in your opinion, so far? What has been able to score them points? Do you know?
Jalen Hurts in a quarterback sneak.
Bingo. Where's the rest of the shit? You have A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, a bunch of big bodies, fast guys that can run fast. Dallas roots down. Speaking of which, no pun intended, but like, fuck, man. What is it? Is it him or is it the coaching staff? And God, I don't know. I feel like it's a coaching staff. Vince Quinn, tell me otherwise.
I feel like they've just developed at the same point where they've both clearly gotten a step better. Again, the roster's clearly taken a step in the right direction. It's elevated everything, but none of it is at an elite level except for the roster. The roster is definitely at an elite level, and I will die on that hill. But yeah, like, look at the coaching staff, because here's the curious thing when it comes to the screens. I don't theoretically mind it for a game to get by. Like, if you remember this, there was a game that I'll never forget. The Eagles played the Packers a couple of years ago. Packers, I think they had some injuries on their offensive line that year. They were weak on the line. Either way, the Eagles were getting pressure all day, but Aaron Rodgers, all he did is as soon as he got the ball, bink, boop, he just kept popping it off to the side. They ran, I swear to God, they threw like 20, 25 passes that were within 2 yards, which is pretty much what the Eagles did the other day. You can do that when you look at the team, because this is one of the hidden talents, I think, of the team, is that the receivers can block. That's a good blocking unit. Like, they had a play where they throw a screen to Dallas Goedert. Devontae Smith is out there blocking it with, like, Zach Pascal. And as much as that's a little weird, it's not patently ridiculous. Like, those guys can block a bit, and Dallas is good after the catch. He can do that. If I'm looking at the coaching staff, my criticism for them is, are they teaching Jalen the hot reads right? Because if he's just not learning it the right way, it's not.
Are there hot reads?
Well,
can I say this real quick, Vince? And I'll hand it right back to you. Where the fuck are the beat writers on this? Ask him the question. How come we have not seen hot reads during blitz opportunities? Does Jalen, someone ask it, for Christ's sake. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I feel like that, yeah, someone should definitely ask it. I would love to hear the answer, because that's the question of the week right now, and it's a hell of a good question. A lot of times questions of the week are stupid, frankly, but I think this is a really good one, and I would love to hear what they say. So yeah, what is the plan for that? How come it's been a certain way? I'm seeing all these all 22 people that are picking it apart of, oh, he's looking the wrong way, and part of it for me is on top of the just like, you can do screen stuff, but my criticism is, one, A.J. Brown didn't get those screens. Why, if you're going to throw 20 screens, why not throw any of them to A.J. when he was one of the few things he had that worked in the passing game anyway?
And
he's really good
at that
after
the first quarter. That doesn't tell me it's your quarterback. So
why not him? And then the other thing is that you don't really see the running backs haven't really mattered in the passing game, which, like, Kenny Gainwell had moments of that last year. Boston Scott had moments of that last year. They're just not throwing to him all that much. I don't know if it's a comfort thing. I don't know if it's a game plan thing. They just like the receivers they have so much. But occasionally when you're getting blitzed, you dump it off to the running back. Like, it's just what you do. You know, they're a safety blanket for those kinds of things. So you're not really seeing that either. So what do we see more of that this week? Like, maybe that's the adjustment and we go, oh, this is a coaching thing. But it just feels like the whole thing is definitely stuck right now.
Yeah, because we even saw it a couple of times in Arizona. Like, that's where this is where I think it's a little more coaching too, just a little more evidence. I don't know if you remember this. Maybe we were commenting on the stands about it, but there was a point when they got into the red zone. Immediately they sent out, like, Zach Pascal, I think Kenny Gainwell, and then, like, immediately as that happened, that got yanked, pulled up. Here comes Grant Calcaterra and a bunch of others. Zach Pascal gets pulled. Like, that happened 3 or 4 times as you're getting closer in between, like, the 20 and the goal line. Like, right in the red zone sweet spot, things just get, like, disjointed. Everything else leading up to that point seems to be fine for the most part, you know? But, like, I do think there is despite all the wonderful trust, we trust Jalen, they clearly don't trust him to do much more. And, like, I guess people are going to kill Vincent, maybe rightfully so, on this, because like he has so much on his plate already. And I truly think, I don't know if you caught this at all while everybody was chatting, because there was a lot of post-game chatter after, like, such a crazy win. Do you remember Smitty came out and said that, you know, like, hey, Jalen checked out of that and called that play to Dallas Goedert to extend and get the first down and all that?
Yeah.
Jalen almost, like, snapped at not snapped, but, like, went and be like, hey, I don't like when people do that. It's an all-effort thing and blah, blah, blah. I just don't think Jalen is the type of guy that, even though he knows it's the wrong thing to do, he's going to go by his coach, because that's his personality. He's not going to be a guy that's going to go like, hey, we're doing it wrong. We're checking out of this. This is bullshit. You know, we got to run. They're going to continue. He's going to continue to trust his offensive coaches.
Well, and I don't know. He has checked out from them a couple of times, though, right? I mean, like, isn't
a little bit recently?
Well, yeah, like the Devontae Smith touchdown the previous week, wasn't that his call? He was like, yeah, Devontae, just go do the schoolyard thing. Like, I'm just going to tell you to go there, and I'm going to throw it to you. So he's got some willingness to adapt on all these things, which is why I wonder, like, how much of this is him not making the right reads at time? Is he trusting the coaching staff too much? I don't know what the full balance of it is, but it's not fully there. Now, here's the other thing, though, I can say that is a benefit to this, because, like, you mentioned Tampa. Naturally, that's going to have everybody nervous. It makes me nervous because it's accurate. We're going to send a bunch of pressure. We're going to put this all on Jalen Hurts to make snap decisions.
Arizona did it.
Can he do it?
It's not going away. That's the only reason why I bring it up. Yeah.
It's probably not. And Dallas is going to send some pressure, too. But the couple of things, I mean, first off, you have a great offensive line. I mean, again, like, you can get away with this stuff even if you're not playing at a high level, because the line is just that absurdly good. So even when it's Sua Opeta and Jack Driscoll and even Kelsey was out of that game for a little bit. So So you have 3 backup linemen in there. You're still getting all this pressure, and you can still execute plays. Like, that's pretty impressive in itself. But the other thing is, not every team can do this. You know, not all these teams are equipped to just, like, send 7 people all the time. It's not their philosophy. It's not their personnel. They're not any good at it. So your ability to take some shots of this, develop it, get better over the season, then be ready by the playoffs, like, you've got time to figure that out, and you're not going to see this every week because teams just can't do it every week. They can't.
Yeah, and I have another coaching theory, too, that wasn't on the docket. Plus, we definitely want to talk about some things. Speaking of Dexter Lawrence, right? I think he might have – did I see Dexter Lawrence again?
DeMarcus Lawrence, yeah. DeMarcus, don't call me Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah. DeMarcus, don't call me Dexter Lawrence tweeted some interesting things. So I want Vince Quinn to fill us in on that. But I need to fill myself up with another liquid death, because I've been going all day. I literally forgot my water bottle, and this is why it's here. There's a case in my van.
I'm so
Steel
jealous.
Cold, 16.9 ounces of just the delicious, most unique mountain water you can ever find. You know the drill. If you don't know by now, liquiddeath.com/bell, where every case that you order through that link will get you free shipping sent right to you. So that is perfect. It helps out the podcast, and it's the best tasting water that you can find that doesn't destroy the planet. And that is why they're part of the podcast. It's why I get to enjoy it while Vince Quinn is in Chucktown. And if you find any Liquid Death in Chucktown, I didn't the last time I was there, take a picture for me, because I'd be curious if they're finally getting the trend down there. What are you doing down there, by the way?
So
what the hell is so important in Chucktown that you're not here for fucking Dallas week? Good Lord.
Yeah, I'll be back for Sunday, so don't worry about that. I'll be there. Whether I'm in costume or not, I guess we'll figure that out. But for now, yeah, I'm here for. I got a cousin that's getting married. I'm staying in a house right now with my grandparents and my niece. We've got 4 generations of Quins. Or should I say Altopedes, I guess, for my mom's side. So we have 4 generations of Altopedes all hanging out in one house for a wedding. It's pretty wild.
Shout out to them. And Vince has, the largest family I've ever seen in my life. So, He's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I forgot I got another cousin getting married Wednesday. Sorry, got to go. I'm like, oh, shit. That's amazing. So shout out to and congratulations to everybody that is that's getting married and doing all. Well,
they're Washington people, so that don't give them too much.
Oh, all right, never mind.
Which again, we will talk about Dan Snyder. Do not forget about that, folks. You better believe on this show we're talking about Dan Snyder of all places. That's
all
happening.
Right, so here's my cold take. Thanks to our friends at Liquid Death. So we have a long bet. And I'm not saying I took the bet, so I'll take the slap because, whatever. It's looking like the defense is going to win this out. I got a couple more weeks here. I got a little hope. But, one, I thought this is very interesting. Our old friend Michael Kist came out and said, hey, by the way, Vic Fangio's consulting with the Eagles. And I'm like, well, yeah. Yes, right? I thought that was – so I apologize if that was I thought we knew that last year, that he was consulting and he was hanging out. He was here for training camp. But I guess, what was the question? We didn't know if he was getting directly paid or if he was still hanging out. So, whatever. Either way, kudos to Kist. I just thought that was a known thing. And second of all, that's why the fucking defense is good. Because it's not Jonathan Gannon. It's fucking Vic Fangio. And it occurred to me as we were down in Arizona that Tank is up on stage. Shout out to Tank because he's a beautiful man. Hollis Thomas, if you don't know, is going. Seth Joyner asked him directly on stage and says, what do you think the biggest difference is with the Philadelphia Eagles on the defense side of the ball? Vic Fangio. No question about it. Vic Fangio, Vic Fangio, Vic Fangio. I'm like, okay. So, hot take, Jonathan Gannon's not the defensive coordinator. Vic Fangio is. He already is.
He's learning a lot.
The contributor, for the guy you either just tried to kick out or get a head coaching job, come on. That's his replacement. He's getting used to what the defense is, and he's going, I know how to use Fletcher Cox. Yahoo! Found my spot. Why does it feel like a veteran present coach defense? Because it is. Because it is. You dick.
It's the one Bronco I was right about this offseason. He's the one.
I got to get slapped in the face. Yeah, actually, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I was screaming for Fangio.
Vince Quinn, you got your wish. You just didn't even know it. Vic Fangio's coaching the Philadelphia Eagles defense. We can celebrate that now, right? That's what's happening.
I'm sure he listens to the pod, too. What's up, Vic? Good to see you.
Say hi to Julian for us, too. Again, open invite. But I don't know. Are we supposed to be surprised by any of this?
No, of course not. Because think about this, too. The Eagles have been in the business of getting all of these notable contributors to the team behind the scenes. We had John Dorsey pop up a couple years ago. It was like, oh, John Dorsey's here. Okay. Dave Caldwell's been involved in some stuff. They like having people consult with the team, which is good. You need outside people. Otherwise, yeah.
Can we replace that with steal their ideas?
Sure.
I think that's what they're doing.
You're not. You're not stealing as much as generating.
Paying for information.
Because if you're just scouring the league and just going, oh, I like what they do. You have a scout that goes, hey, we should run this play. You're stealing it. But if you're going, hey, how about you come over here and tell us what you think about this? Then you've earned that. That is welcome information. So they're doing it the right way. And that makes it a place where you want to be. And when you don't do that, you end up like the Patriots with Matt Patricia and Joe Judge as your offensive coordinators, which is a complete disaster. So that's why you do this kind of thing. And, yeah, if Gannon gets a head coaching job because Fangio taught him stuff and Then he goes out and Fangio comes in. Like, what a win. What a massive win for the Eagles.
Yeah, big time. I think that's almost clear as day now. So whatever Jonathan Gannon ends up,
Carolina.
Yeah. You think?
That's a great take,
defense?
Taylor. I love that.
I'll take that bet. I don't think there's.
It's not hard to imagine him in the Carolina coach's uniform.
Well, I tell you what, if the Eagles get anywhere near the Super Bowl, then I think Taylor's right, because then it's Super Bowl pedigree. Can't turn that down. You convince any Carolina fan, like, well, they won a Super Bowl, so
that's right.
All right. So Vic Fangio's coach of the defense, more than likely end up in Carolina. So let's go to this. What did our good friend Mr. Lawrence say or tweet out? I guess. Or no, it was a response to a press conference, right?
Yeah, it was a press conference thing that got tweeted out. So it's funny because it actually goes to your theory that you had about me in this Dallas game on some level. I'll read this quote from David Moore. So let's see. DeMarcus Lawrence, when asked if Philly QB Jalen Hurts is playing better, quote, "Has he played us? All right. All you need to write is he hasn't played the Cowboys yet, so we don't know how good he is." Which is not exactly what I'm saying, but he's kind of in that ballpark. Yeah.
It's like, see that what are now they saying they're the best defensive line in the NFL right now?
Well, they are the best defensive line in the NFL right now.
I guess like
the Eagles are right there, but
if you're going to talk about the Dallas, who the fuck have the Cowboys played? If you're going to make that statement,
nobody good. But they've dominated.
You go beat up a shell of the Rams team, and you want to like start stomping your feet and be like, look what we can do, blah blah blah. Yeah, okay. Who else? Who else have they played? The Giants. They lost a barn burner with the Giants. Wow. Okay.
They've owned the most points they've allowed is 19, and that was against the Bucs. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great defense. You can't score points. So, and by the way, Diggs is the bad brother. Your Diggs is the shitty brother, right? We all recognize that, correct? Like, you are not the Stephon Diggs of the DBs. You are like the wannabe, and he even said on the podcast today, I believe, hanging out with Aaron Donald, that he is the little brother syndrome, and that's totally what this Cowboys team is. It's the little brother syndrome because they still want to be a part of the Bills conversation, the Chiefs conversation. They're still putting themselves in that talent level. Did they not realize? Like, yes, Dan Quinn's the best coach on that football team. He's got probably the best talent to work with, too, and now we've realized a generational talented guy. Yes, they're going to be successful. That offense stinks. That offensive line is you got done praising the Eagles' defense. Are they not just as good? Top to bottom? Did I not just see Jordan Davis squash a 300-pound man like a fucking fly? Like, what are we talking about here?
Look, I'm not saying that it's like it's so much better than the Eagles. All I'm saying is their front is the best in the league. I would take the Eagles' defense as a whole, but their front's been killer right now. There's just no way to put it. They've just been absolutely dominant in a lot of phases. Fumbles, forced interceptions with guys rushing throws. They've just caused a lot of problems. They've done it literally every single game. I mean, the schedule's not good, and that's the thing. The league sucks as a whole this year. Let's just get to that. The league is not very strong. So the Rams are terrible. The Bucs are terrible. The Bengals are terrible. The Giants are overplaying right now. They're not that good. Like, and I forget whoever they played is that other team. It wasn't an impressive.
Not that good or just really well coached.
Well, that's exactly it. They're well coached and their talent's not that good. So it's whatever it is, which is why I think this game's going to be fun. And the Eagles line is built where they can handle this. So I'm not like panicking about this game. The Eagles should win. This is the better team. Like, Cooper Rush is the most like Trader Joe's store brand quarterback I've ever seen. He's just the most forgettable average white guy.
I'll be your quarterback today.
Yeah, he moves a little bit. He's not a dynamic passer. He doesn't implode, but he's not
undefeated
special.
Quarterback.
Yeah, there we go.
Undefeated quarterback.
Oh, yeah, right. Something's got to break here. The Eagles are Cooper Rush's all-time record of winning games as a starter. When you got to pull that shitty storyline, wow, is your team bad. So bad. And that's what's even more hilarious to me, DeMarcus, is how many of those sacks came from guys that run like Jalen Hurts? Oh, none of them. It's just the same thing back to you. Like, What a dumb, stupid thing to say. You haven't played them, these boys. You sound like the guy that's in the back of the fucking 7-Eleven drinking a Mountain Dew, like around Arlington, just like, Texas for life. Fucking A. Like, what a great, stupid answer. God. It's just, I wouldn't. I fucking hate Cowboys
so mad.
people. I just hate them. I know it's a boomer thing to hang on to because everybody goes, John, why don't you like the Giants? Because they ruined my life, okay? The Dallas game, there's still 20 years of shit backed up here that is just like it was miserable to be an Eagles fan, So like I don't care if I'm speaking of little brother syndrome. They probably think we're still the little brothers, even though we've been dominating them for fucking years in terms of franchises. Not necessarily 1-1 because that's not always fun to remember.
Well, it's
but
1-0 because we have a Super Bowl in the last 25 years, and they don't, so they can eat it. Yeah, look, they've been a little brother team for quite some time as a franchise, and they just don't want to admit it. And they get all the media coverage, and Jerry Jones is a big deal, and it is what it is. But yeah, like the Cooper Rush storyline is junk. If I'm going to worry about anything on that team, it's like once a game. What's his name? The other running back that isn't Zeke. What's his
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard breaks a run once a game for like 65 yards. That's what I'm worried about. That's it. But that's all they got. Like they're a fast turtle. Like they could go. It's like 5 seconds of oh my god, look at that speed, and then it's just like bloop 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 for 20 minutes again. Like they just don't. They don't have it. They're not a point scoring team. They've been a great defense against average to bad teams this year. And that's all they've been. There's nothing to worry about. Like, ultimately, that's the thing. For all the questions and concerns and trash talk and all this shit, they're the better team. They should win this game. They're playing at home. And then they go into the bye. They're doing all this healthy. Like, everything is stacking up so good for this team right now.
Yeah. T, what do you think?
This is going to be the best defense they're going to see all season, right?
I would think so. Yeah, trying to think.
Steelers, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I would take Dallas over the Steelers.
Same.
Easy.
Maybe they have a
Saints.
again,
if you
like
want to go there,
secondary and stuff. I think of the
Yeah.
Steelers might be a little more. Yeah, Saints. I guess, but like, yeah, I think so. Like this is definitely the best coached defense too. I would say.
Well, best test for them.
Yeah, and I wouldn't like. That's why I'm not going to be surprised if Jalen's like only throwing 26 passes in this one, and that doesn't look completely sharp from the beginning or at the end or like whatever it is. Like, yeah, he's going to have to use his legs again, and I would want him to. Jordan Mailata is hopefully like looking on track to start in this one, which is great news. I think you need him, and Michael Parsons going to get his. Lawrence is going to get his too. Like it's just going to happen. You just got to make sure it doesn't fucking happen 9 times. Limit it to maybe like 3 or 4, and let's just like say, okay, that's going to happen. But like, that's where I kind of go back to the beginning of this conversation, man. I think we're going to know pretty damn well clear if the coaching staff doesn't have any more creative ideas or not, or there's just like not enough in the playbook with this. Because if this is the toughest defense, and Arizona was tough on you, I think just because from an athlete standpoint, then yeah, this is not going to be easy. Like I'm thinking in the 20s, somewhere around there, and I think that you can win that way. It's fine.
Yeah, they should win that way. For the coaching staff, look, if we're talking about it this much of how to respond to a blitz and what are hot reads, they better be talking about it. I mean, I honestly, like, in all my years that I've been obsessed with the Eagles, I don't know if we've ever had conversations like this in the middle of the season. When have we ever sat down and been like, I don't think this offense and the reads or the hots and like, we don't talk about that stuff. So it's a testament to how good they've been, but it's an obvious glaring thing that they need to figure out, and they've got a week to prepare for this. Like they should be ready to go. They've got the talent. They can win these matchups. They could have maxed out the bad strategy, the questionable strategy they did last week. Again, they didn't throw A.J. Brown the ball. So like, get that going, get your running backs involved, change it up a little bit. They should be fine. They should be fine.
Yeah, like I don't mean to sound crass, but like last week looked very much Cliff Kingsbury-ish. It was just like, let's just throw a bunch of shit and see if it sticks. And I hope that's not what we're walking into, because it feels like there isn't a ton of answers there, including this one. This is the last one I'll leave with you. I initially I thought I overreacted. I don't think so at all. Britain's got to go. That's it. I can't see him return another fucking thing. That's it. Like I'm done with this experiment. Why can we not find anyone other than Josh Huff? I'm still there. It blows my fucking mind that this team can't find a returner that Chip Kelly found that everyone didn't like. Like, why is this so hard? Is it just that, well, I haven't really been paying attention outside the league. Is the return position dead? Like, can we just end this shit if this is all it's going to be? Like, maybe you get back to the 26 or 30? Like, just end kickoffs.
There's guys here and there that can do it, and it is funny to go this way, and I said it before, but the guy in Denver is fun. Like a couple years ago, it was Jakeem Grant was really fun for the Dolphins.
Yeah,
he's had some injuries and stuff, but
Yeah.
there are guys out there to do it. And when you're thinking about the ability to upgrade that, I would bet there's a guy on a practice squad somewhere that you could sign right now to take over for Britton Covey. It's always rocky out there. Like, it's just every time he's getting the ball, he might be fumbling it. I don't always trust his decisions when he decides to play it. And when he does play it, even if he gets a couple of yards, he's getting crushed constantly. Like, I don't know if it makes me wonder a little bit if the blocking around it for special teams and, like, the way they're trying to structure it to get him returns, I don't know if they're doing a good enough job, but it's clearly not working, and that guy's getting killed out there. So it's got to change.
I also think there's just this small element of like, this dude's really small, and like special teams dudes will do anything to keep getting a paycheck. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to fucking light this guy up because I outweigh him by 30 pounds. So it's just, I can't imagine the punishment. It's not his fault. It's it's just, I don't think this is not for you. Keep developing into a slot receiver, whatever it is. We'll see how it goes. But like, just anybody else, literally anybody else. I'm right there. So
yeah.
Score predictions for you, Vince Quinn. Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, as we'll be tailgating at the Navy Yard. Again, free parking, snack times playing. We've got 2 amazing barbecuers coming down as well. It's all-inclusive. It's $85. PhillySportsTrips.com/tailgates. Just go right there. You will see them. And it's unbelievable. For 3 hours, just highbrow liquor, booze, beer from Lucky Cat Brewing, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Can't wait. Jamie's going to be down there from Calf Barbecuing, and, it's just going to be such a good time, man. Tank's there. Everybody's there. Tailgate, watch the game. We're going to be there the whole time.
Watch the afternoon slate with us, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a perfect time to do it. What's the score, Vince Quinn?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's 20-17 Eagles, but that 7 is the last 7 for Dallas is kind of like a backdoor thing.
Just a low-tempoed Cooper Rush can't do anything. The Eagles score early in the second quarter. Yeah, they get back on their old bullshit. I like that. Okay. Taylor Credatus, how's this one ending?
24-13 Eagles?
Like that. I could see it. Yes.
Going to be gross.
Going to be very gross.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 21-10 Eagles. I like that. I think I have no faith in that Cowboys offense whatsoever. So, hope I just didn't jinx us, but that's how we'll see it. We'll see you down at the Navy Yard. Thanks to all our friends at Liquid Death and Philly Sports Trips. Make sure you're joining in the Discord or giving us a text, mainly with all your Eagles opinions, or just to let you know where we're going to be next. So we'll see you real soon on the next episode as we go discuss Dan Snyder, that crazy son of a bitch. There's so much to get into. We'll see you then. Okay, bye.